I'm going to apologise straight off the bat for the voice. I've gone for a husky thing. Not like a dog, not like I'm not pulling sleighs around, no, but the husky voice is a new thing I'm trying out, so you can tell me what you think. I like it. I'm thinking of keeping it for maybe another 2 days and then getting rid of it. I imagine that's what will happen. Anyway, you know they say you never forget your first love. My first love thing that happened was when I was 16 and I was with a girl for a month, and it affected me emotionally in more ways than you can imagine. I was just such a wreck when we broke up. We were only together a month and it shouldn't have been such a big deal, but I got into poetry because of it. Over the next few weeks I'm going to be reading you some of my terrible teenage poetry and laughing at it really. I do like the idea that I was sitting down and writing poems. It is a nice thing to have done, but they're shit. And looking back now, it's fine, you know, it did help the healing process quite a lot. I just look back on it now, and I think at the time I thought it was incredible, and it's actually terrible. So just for today, we're just going to look at the front cover. As you can see, the back is plain. And what this is an old RE book from a class I had with a lovely woman called Mrs. O'Hagan. Anybody watching from St Mary's will remember her well. So what we've got here, it says my name at the top, and her name, and RE. I've put here, Rory Burroughs, this is me. Put a little arrow there. Mrs. O'Hagan, this is not. Like, anybody who was reading this would be confused, like, who's the real author of these poems? Is it his RE teacher or is it him? I think the main reason I've used this book to write the poems in is because ever since I was very young I haven't liked waste, and clearly had a few pages left in my RE book and was like, I'll make this my poetry book. And it's full of quotes that clearly at the time I thought were quite meaningful, but now I look back and it's a bit cringy. Here's my favourite. It's not just a matter of interpreting the world, but a matter of changing it. A quote there from the famous revolutionary thinker Karl Marx. It's clear that I've tried to sort of cover up the fact that it's an RE book by changing the meaning of what RE is. So it says RE, and I've put an element of religion comes into my work. Just trying anything to cover up the fact that it is just essentially an old RE book. I don't know why I was so ashamed of that fact anyway. It's not like anybody was ever going to read these until now. An innocent needs a mentor, which I remember was a quote from Skins of all the things. I was watching it one day and had the book next to me, and one of the teachers says to Effie, an innocent needs a mentor, and I was like, that's true, that an innocent does need a mentor, I'll write it down. There's a little quote which you can't really see running along the bottom, and it's one that I made up myself and clearly thought was quite profound. To acknowledge perfection, man must first realise his faults. There's a lot of truth in that, I think we know, boys and girls. And then here I've put the predator and drawn a little line, and then underneath that, a little picture of a bird saying the prey. Lions don't eat enough robins, I always think. But there, he's about to eat that, and I don't know why I thought that was relevant either on a poetry book. Tried to cover up the fact it's about RE, but be more than happy to put a lion and a bird on it. Ah, there's bees here, there's playing cards, and I've just written pontoon. Like, what relevance does that have to anything at all? Ridiculous. Anyway, so look forward to next week's video where I'll be talking about the first poem I ever wrote, Catchphrase Conundrum. And it's gonna be good, it's just the worst poem you've ever heard, ever. Oh.